We are live. Welcome. The first pod of the week, the first West Coast Draft podcast of the week. One and all. We got Rob, we got Daniel. We're talking about the most important division in football today, as I like to call it, the Hood Division.
We
The
didn't wear
AFC North.
hoodies, a little too hot.
We did not wear hoodies. It is way too hot in Arizona, and I did not have any on hand. But that's okay. We're still gonna have a really good time. Um,
Absolutely.
on
And
that,
we got a lot to talk about
hop
today.
into the We got lots to talk about. That's right, Rob. We've got Rob
Game report.
took courtesy. We got a game report. Yeah. Rob and Daniel went to the Seahawks Browns game, and I'm sure there's stories out of that.
Pull up the picture on the we took a nice picture. Pull up the picture on the messenger.
All right. Here we go.
It was
There we go.
courtesy of Daniel Listenby. Very nice picture.
Here it is. I got it right here. So open image and new tab. Is that gonna Oh, it's very blurry. Let's see if I can get a better version of it without having to open up Facebook. Okay, now try open image. That's much better. There we go. There you go. Live from Lumen Field.
Yeah.
It's two-thirds of the West Coast Draft podcast.
You can count McLean as a half.
There you go. Oh wow, so I'm a half then?
No, no,
Jeez.
no, no, no. Three and a half parts.
There you go. Three. Okay. There you go. So there you go. Well, although he hasn't been featured on a pod yet. We'll
He
give him a
does
pod one
not
of these
care
days.
enough to be on
That's all
it.
right. That's all
He
right.
he would not have any. He would not want to come on, and that's
Family.
okay.
Yeah, that's all right. That's all right.
He's
Family
wearing
in the
my
pod.
Sherman jersey
Yeah, I can see that. You got
or
the
my Kenny McIntosh jersey, as that day kind of went.
There you go. So there it is. We'll hear all about events from this game. Rob put together a little Seahawks 53 man projection,
I
which
did. I was bored during
I
work today.
if I'd known we were gonna do this on the pod, I would have put together a Bengals 53 man prediction.
I
But
sent it in the
I know you
early
said it
afternoon,
early, but I,
but
I wasn't thinking we were talking. If you'd linked it with, hey, we'll talk about 53 man projections on the pod, I would have been
true,
ready.
true.
I would have had it
Nothing,
ready.
nothing too interesting here. Three running backs. I know some people are gonna be pissed, but it's just not worth carrying four, in my opinion. I think George Holani will clear waivers because, like, running back in the preseason is an easy position to do pretty well. I'm not worried about him not clearing waivers, and I think Kenny McIntosh earned that spot. Um, I do not have Eskridge on the roster. That was cool to see that
Boo.
he had that punt return, but you got another good returner on that roster too, and he actually you can tell that D wasn't making the roster with how he played only in the second half. Um, and it was funny. A guy I like to watch a lot was like nightmare scenario for that game is D Estridge has a punt return or kick return touchdown and earns a roster spot. It was like, and it happened. Of course it does. Keeping four tight ends because I think they want to keep Barner. I don't think they'll burn that yet. And Brady Russell certainly earned that spot. Might be special teams captain. Sadly, Stone Forsythe is going to make the team. I think if Abe Lucas were healthy, Forsythe would get cut and Jarrell would make the team. I think the reason Jarrell hardly played is they're trying to stash him. They really like him, is what I hear. Some people thought that like Mike Morris playing a lot is like, oh, is he on the bubble? And then McDonald explained it. No, he's the guy that can line everybody up for our stuff. He can line up the younger, recent addition guys, line them up, and get them all going. And he didn't play at all last year except the first game got hurt, and so it helps him just get more reps. And like he had something really good stuff to say about original friend of the pod, Mike Morris, saying that it's really unique, really big, and I agree. I think he's had a really good preseason. I've been saying that he's the Brent Urban role for this defense, and I think that's really going to work. There's been buzz about adding a nose tackle, younger guy, not like an out. People are like, "Oh, Al Woods." Like Al Woods is 37. You forget that. Um, there's been some names thrown around that I just kind of randos. Oh, uh-oh. Did I make a mistake? Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
How
I thought it
dare
was
you
with a K. I
disrespect
thought it was with a
Chris
K.
Stoll, Penn State legend Chris Stoll.
Um, so I think he's gonna. I think they're gonna be adding a nose tackle. There's like a guy on the Titans from Texas. There's someone brought up Taki Taimani. I'm like, no.
I've seen that name got brought up too because the Bengals are also looking for nose tackles. And I'm like, ha, that's funny.
Like dude on the Bengals, some guys with some odd and dirty connections. I'll get that right someday. So that's we'll have to keep an eye out for that. I do have them keeping five linebackers. It's a bit of a toss up for, I think Barrett's of course going to make the team. That fifth spot is a bit of a toss up between O'Connell and Radigan.
Mhm.
Radigan's getting paid 3 mil. O'Connell's getting paid 1 mil. So that's the decision there. Cornerback, I think they're going to carry six. Hardy Burns, we didn't hear anything about his injury today. He got carted off. Um, he's been our nickel, so we'll see what happens there. It would be a bummer to lose him for the season, but I don't know who they'd take on it as that sixth corner. Either D. Williams or it would maybe be Carlton Johnston. He's a Fresno State guy, very small, but like runs a 4.240. But I think they'll have no issue stashing him on the practice squad. Uh, yeah, nothing else surprising there, really. Some people are like, are they going to keep Nehemiah Pritchett and DJ James? I think they will. I think the whole point of drafting them was having those rookie deals for when like Trey Brown leaves, they want to develop them. So I think they're going to both make the roster. I think they both had good final preseason games. They were tackling really well. And then the specialists, and that's about it. Got some draft picks not making the roster. Mike Drill and Satoa Lamea aren't making the roster, but I don't think there's going to be any issue stashing them. I don't know what's going on with Cam Young if they put him on PUP or something or just cut him. Um, Nelson Caesar, no. So those three, I mean, Jamie Sheriff was the story of the preseason for the Seahawks. Dude came in late to camp, undrafted, was selling beers and just had a great preseason. But like those preseason stars get cut a lot, man. And
Mhm.
you know, though China getting hurt, I was never too worried about it. People were freaking out about it, but just how that injury looked, I was like, it's probably a bruise or a sprain. They might put him on IR for the first 4 weeks, and I think that's what's going to happen. That's what
Mhm.
Rappaport said today. So when that news dropped, I was like, and people were freaking out about like, oh, we traded Daryl Taylor. That what horrible timing. It's like, I think it's pretty damn clear this coaching staff did not like Daryl Taylor very much.
Mhm.
Um, and then that trade for what's his name for Tevis Gibson went through.
Mhm.
Um, he's not going to get many snaps. They're going to go with Jones, Mafe, and Hall there. Maybe play some more Leonard Williams at the five. So it is what it is. People are like, even before that stuff, they're like, oh, we're thin at edge. It's like the LOB team were like two or three deep at edge. We're four deep at edge right now, so I'm really not too worried.
Mhm.
Ty Okada had a good preseason, but I just don't see him. I don't see us carrying five safeties. All four of those guys in green are like the first one off. Marquise Blair as well. Caesar, I think they want to develop him. I don't think he was able to make the roster. Um, Tyler Mabry's the classic 4A, triple A or quadruple A player. Basically, he's been on and off the practice squad for years. It feels like. Aesop Winston and Cody White aren't going to make the team. Let's be real here. We've gone through this song and dance with Kason Williams and like Jazz Ferguson. Cool, they caught jump ball fades on man blitzes in the preseason. Cool, whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the roster breakdown right now. I think they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do with Abe Lucas and Uchenna and Artie Burns and Cam Young injury wise, but I'm pretty happy with this roster.
There you go. There you go. On the topic of this, and again, I do not have anything ready to go. I'm sorry. I know. I will say though, reading actually here you go. Here's like the go-to guy for all things Bengals, Mr. Joe Goodberry, who would be my
That's a
dream
good name.
podcast guest. Um, the Bengals source on Twitter, the Bengals guy. He released his 53-man roster prediction earlier today, and I pretty much agree with everything he has here. So we'll go it. You're gonna notice our old friend Jackson Kirkland. He's on there. He's making the roster in this projection. Carrying 5 tight ends, which would be a surprise,
That's a lot
but
of tight
something I'd
ends.
be happy with. Um, I think ultimately the running back. I think they end up picking up a running back, probably Samaje P. Ryan, if I'm being 100% honest.
Ah, I
Given
saw
that
that
sounds
today.
like he's out of Denver. Um,
Saw
I
that
think
on
they
your
pick up a
burner.
running back, and that probably forces one of these O linemen out because I don't think they ultimately end up carrying 10 O linemen. Um, D
Speaking of
line.
Bengals, I got or Broncos, I got some funny things to add. You may have seen what I'm talking about.
I know you've been. I'll let you go ahead after I
Oh, yeah, you
finish.
finish up.
Miles Murphy, obviously going into the season, we'll see if they put him on IR, that's another roster spot, but we'll see. McKinley Jackson King, the same story. Um, I mean, yeah, linebacker room, no surprises there. I honestly would be surprised if they carry 5 linebackers. I think they might only carry 4, just those top 4 guys right there. Um, Mima Jongameta, no idea if
That's a
I
good
pronounced
name.
that name by the way. Undrafted out of Wisconsin, was a star in the preseason, earned
He
himself
was
a
the
roster
so
spot.
I got two questions to ask everybody.
Yes.
So I'll give you time to think while Bo wraps up. Preseason star and surprise cut. Giving you guys a second to think.
I
So
already
finish
got
up.
the surprise cut for the Bengals already happened. Jackson Carman, he's out of there. Which granted he should have been, but he's already gone. Which good, by the way. They drafted him over Creed Humphrey. If they had Creed Humphrey instead of Jackson Carman in the Super Bowl, they would have won. Yay.
I feel you, man. The Eskridge.
Uh, yeah,
Hey,
all right.
hey. Creed Humphreys never had a punt return touchdown. I think we won that pick.
He also has 2 rings.
I know that's a joke.
But you're right. You're right. Corner room. Yeah, I mean, I don't disagree with any. I mean, these top 5 guys are locks. Then after that, Jalen Davis. I mean, you're getting into, the maybes there.
That's a great way to spell Tyson.
Tyson, yeah, the Tice, yeah, yeah. Um,
Is he BYU? I like that name.
no, he's Toledo. I'm trying to think if there's any. I just realized that never mind. There's one disagreement I have. This Mr. Goodberry has them keeping um Jalen Davis over DJ Ivy. That might be because DJ Ivy's starting on the PUP. Okay, never mind. PUP list. There you go. IR no return. Yeah, Cam Sample being on IR no return kind of helps in a way because he would have been all 3 of these guys. Maybe not Deontay Smith, but these guys would have been locks for roster spots. Miles Murphy, McKinley Jackson looks like he's got for IR return guys. Um, okay. Oh
Bengals
wait,
have
I didn't even.
really done well in their O line depth.
Yeah, they have. They've done a good job of making that area that they're not going to struggle with going forward. Does he have Ryan Rico winning the punter battle? I didn't watch the full video. I only watched the offense and defense. I skipped special teams. Obviously, we know who their kicker and long snapper are going to be. Yeah, he's got Ryan Rico winning the punter battle. Interesting.
Oh.
Elijah Collins, he's been pretty good. I'm excited to keep him on the practice squad if ultimately it shakes out that way.
What I'm
Shedrick
saying, running backs aren't that desirable on waivers.
Shedrick Jackson, nephew of Bo Jackson, insane 40. Keep him. That's good. Travis Bell has made some splash plays in the preseason. I'd be happy to keep him.
Love seeing a
Um,
punter on the practice squad.
that's Brad Robbins. That's the guy they picked last year. Um, that's probably and Joe. Oh, he had Joe Bacci going, getting cut and going to the practice squad. Interesting. I'd keep Joe Bacci over the Shaka Hayward, but that's just me. Trying to see if there's anyone else here that he has getting cut that's like a shocker to me. Not really. J Hill, Chris Jenkins, JT Falu's on the way out. Jackson Kirkman making the roster in this projection was fired me up a little bit though. I'm not gonna lie.
He's
Um,
exclusively a guard, right?
yeah. Yeah, actually, no. He played left and right tackle against the Bears and Colts and did well at it. Um, Actually, you know what? I just realized he's got Nate Gilliam making it over Devin Cochran. I think Devin Cochran's been awesome in the preseason. I don't necessarily agree with that, but then again, you're talking about your backup
That's an
tackle.
awesome helmet wall he has.
Yeah. Um. Okay. Yeah. No other surprises after that. Does he have Cole Burgess making to the practice squad? He does. Yeah, right there, Cole Burgess. Okay. Yeah. No other surprises after that. Man, poor Chris Evans, man.
So speaking of Bengals, I've been trolling Bigly Bengals by and really riling them up by saying I don't know, I never knew that the no-fly zone existed, and they get
You mean
really mad and
Broncos?
defensive about that.
You mean Broncos?
Yeah, did I say Broncos?
You said Bengals.
Whoops, my bad. You don't have to go into it. It's
Okay.
just my, you know my trolling style by now, so you've
Yeah.
seen it all. But it really roused them up because they've been a little annoying on Twitter. Now they're saying they have the best quarterback room in the NFL after the preseason because Bo Nix and Zach Wilson had some good preseason games. It's like Jesus Christ, guys, come
Best
on.
QB room in the NFL is a bold take. Considering before the game, the pads got put on, everyone said they had the worst. So,
But
no.
now that Jacoby Brissett's hurt, Seahawks might be playing rookie quarterbacks week 1, week 2.
Hmm.
That is bad news for those rookie quarterbacks going up against that kind of defense.
Um, although it sounds like Brissett might be back week one
Yeah, he's be
by the
back.
sounds of it.
Gosh, that old line on that play was so bad.
Oh no, the Patriots offensive line is horrible. I'm excited to
Speaking of
see.
old lines, though, fuck Wyatt Teller.
No,
Cut,
actually, let's get into the game report. I mean, I'll
cut
let you guys
blocking a
take. Oh wait,
Chenna
before
Nwosu.
we do that, before we get into the game report, Daniel has to give his surprises
Oh,
of the
surprise!
preseason.
No, wait. Star of the preseason and surprise cut.
Feel like we got a couple surprise cuts depending on how you look at it. So we cut Donovan Peoples-Jones. Now,
Mm-hmm.
if you were watching the Lions preseason, that's not surprising because he kind of looked like ass to be honest, all games he played. But on the
Mhm.
outside looking in, it's probably a little bit surprising just because people remember that one good season he had with Cleveland a couple years ago, and they assume he still has those levels. But no, he actually looked pretty rough. So him getting cut wasn't too surprising. I didn't think he was going to get cut only because the Lions don't have a lot of receiver depth like with that body type. Because there's been a whole thing going around the Detroit's looking for an X receiver, not necessarily wide receiver one, an X receiver.
Mhm.
All our guys are,
Because Amon Ross more of a slot guy.
Mm-hmm.
he's
Yeah.
more of a slot guy. Jamison Williams is
It's
unproven.
yeah,
Collie Frame is a slot guy.
Even
yeah.
Jamison Williams isn't really. He's more of a Z, anyways. Even if he
Oh,
was
exactly.
They kind of gadget him up a little bit now.
right.
Right. So yeah, it's kind of there's been a little bit of speculation around that, but some people thought maybe DPJ,
Tim Patrick's getting cut.
but he didn't. I did see Tim Patrick get cut. He actually that news showed up in the Lions subreddit actually. Some people
That's an
were talking
X.
Yeah.
about possibly getting Tim Patrick in to fill that role, so we'll see. But for me, the surprise cut was Shane Zylstra.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
So he, for the longest time, was our number 2 tight end before Sam Laporta got drafted. And then last year, his playing time got cut down a little bit, but he's kind of in and out of the practice squad. But he still had some good moments. But it was kind of surprising he got cut. I would have expected him to be our 3
More
behind
of a
Laporta.
blocking tight end.
That's the thing is Dan Campbell really wants like a blocking first tight end. Not even just blocking first, like blocking first, blocking second kind of guy.
Laporta's a good blocker.
I mean, Laporta is just a stud. That's a whole
He's a
different
he's a all around he's an all around tight end.
I mean, he's like it's Laporta, and then the talent pool for tight end just goes way down. Brock Wright's pretty good. He's definitely made some good plays for us, but he's nowhere near the levels Laporta's at.
Yeah.
But
Neither of us expected Laporta to hit like that.
but
I don't think anybody
Zylstra
did.
Zylstra did get cut, which was pretty surprising. I thought he was going to be our 3, but the rumor now is Parker Hesse is going to possibly be our 3rd tight end because apparently the coaching staff really liked his blocking. And they speculate our 5th round pick from a couple years ago, James Mitchell, could be our 3 or 4, depending on how the Lions see the receiving situation. So yeah, that's still a little bit fuzzy right now. Actually, another surprise that happened coming out of training camp, we have a new long snapper, guys.
Hey.
So our guy
Hey.
last year, Scott Daly, a lot of people expected him to make the team again. Nope, he got cut. Hogan Hatton is a new long snapper.
That's a good long
Hogan
snapper name.
Hatton. That is a
I
great
don't,
long snapper name.
I don't even know who Hogan Hatton is, but if hey,
Hey, I
you
hardly
got
know. I
Hogan.
can't even spell Chris Stoll's name right.
But so yeah, pretty interesting stuff
Who was
going
the
on.
star of the preseason?
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that question. It's got to be Isaiah Williams, man. He killed it. He was
Mhm.
really good. He looks like he's going to make the team. Again, he doesn't really fill that X role, but he's honestly such a good weapon. He honestly played really well this preseason. I'd like to see him get an opportunity in the regular season. Um, I don't know. Besides him, honestly, Jake Fromm, the 2 possessions he played against Pittsburgh, he might be the second star, to be honest, man. Honestly, kicker Jake Bates, he had some moments. He was a little inconsistent, but he's got a big leg. And, he's a young guy. He's still getting used to the NFL game. So hopefully, he comes around as the season goes on. But
I cannot believe Jason Myers nailed like a 50-yarder in the Seahawks game.
Myers isn't
Hold
a
on.
bad kicker. You just
He's had
remember
a
all the bad
bad
games he played.
he's had a bad preseason though. He's missed a couple PATs, and at the practice I went to, he missed like every kick.
Well, I'll tell you what, humor me this. CJ Stroud had a terrible preseason last year and then tore up the league in the regular
Well,
season.
Jason Myers does do better on odd years or even
Jamar
years.
Chase is the king of bad preseason into all-time regular season. So
Yeah.
There you go. There you go.
Let me be a
Preseason,
hater.
ultimately,
Let me be a hater.
preseason, the only thing preseason matters for is if dudes like Isaiah Williams, who are like on the bubble of making a roster, really show out in the 3 games they play, that they get an opportunity to actually play on a team.
Honestly,
But if you're a starting guy, like who cares?
I think we should scrap the preseason games and just have like 2 joint practices.
Yeah, you and I were discussing this, and I kind of agree with that. Because I feel like in the joint practices, the ones get more reps. It's a little bit more intense. Team
Colleges don't do preseason; they're fine. Although I guess
yeah, they also
non-con is
don't
kind
joint
of a
practice,
preseason.
so they have
Oh
plenty
my
to do.
gosh!
Oh yeah,
I was also
no,
gonna
this is
say
a,
too.
I didn't
pretty
see
sweet.
this.
I'll
What's
show
up
it.
with
I'll
that?
show it in a second. Go ahead, Daniel.
No, I was just gonna say, like, to kind of add on to that, I feel like teams and players get more amped up for this season if they create a little mini rivalry with some other team. Like that Lions Giants joint practice, guys. That shit got so intense because they practiced with each other for like a couple weeks. Like I know, Rob, you were talking about Seattle and Tennessee's joint practices. They got pretty heated as well.
No, they didn't. They
They did.
didn't.
I thought you said they did.
No, they
They
didn't.
did no. That was the
The
Spoon and Adams mostly.
the
I
only
mean,
thing that happened was Spoon got a pick and gave it to Jamal Adams. Like I was so excited. Like, oh, we're finally doing this. We're gonna have awesome fights against Jamal and Quandre. And like after the whole thing happened, McDonald and Callahan were like, "Yep, we told him before the practices, let's not have fights, and it worked great." I was like, "We finally do this, and we don't even get the fun parts of this." Like, come on.
There
no,
were
but that
no
still
fight.
proves my
There were
point
no
though,
fights
because
out of
the players still got heated.
right.
Because
I
Devin
don't think they
Witherspoon,
even really
he's still
did.
taunting Jamal Adams a little bit.
They
I mean,
no,
it
that was
doesn't have
it.
to
That's the one thing that happened. The only
Yeah,
thing
but
that
it doesn't have to be an all-out brawl. My point is that you have little events like that. It can still get the players and the team amped up.
just
Even if
one,
they're not
just one. I wanted more. I wanted more.
No fights out of Bengals practices. The two
No,
they
no, I
had.
disagree. I disagree.
But they did have the trash talk against AR.
I thought I saw some scuffling from the O line.
There was the arm extension.
That's more than
stuff.
anything we got. We didn't get any scuffles.
Wait, Beau, were the Bengals practicing with the Jets?
No, they had one. They had one with the Bears and one with the Colts.
Oh, AR Anthony Rich. I thought you meant Aaron Rodgers.
ARP.
Yeah.
But I think we should just because those are more physical than preseason games, you know. But all right, time to get into our game review of our time at Lumen Field. It was a beautiful November day in August.
Beautiful.
I was saying it was like a November day. It was a beautiful November day.
It's chilly.
It was cloudy and chilly, and there's a little bit of rain, but we were under the clamshell, which was nice. It was a weird game. Daniel said it well in that the refs were in Jerry rolled form. There were so many penalties. They called back an awesome touchdown, that's like 80-yard touchdown Sam Howell had on a hold that I watched back the film, and it was Christian Haynes just pancaking some dude. It was like, oh my god. And just a million penalties. It was a long game because of that. It was probably the highest scoring preseason game I've ever seen. It was like,
Yeah, I was gonna say every time I look, I kept getting tweets saying, "Oh, Seahawks got another touchdown." I'm like, okay.
what was like, it was like, I forget the final score, but like they were both in the 30s and Seahawks were almost in the 40s,
It
I
was
think.
37-33.
Yeah, it was high scoring. Seahawks were in control the whole time. They let the Browns back in right at the end when the Force were playing. First team D line got some sacks. You know, first team on both sides only played one series. Gina went like 4 for 5, had an awesome touchdown to DK, great deep ball to JSN. Daniel missed those sadly. Howell had a great game again. Daniel was Howell cheerleader #1, and I appreciate that. Kenny McIntosh, big like 50-yard running touchdown. LaVisca Chenault, big block on that. Um, Jamie Sheriff had like 2 sacks. I might have had 3. It's like, damn, he's not. I don't think he's gonna make the practice squad, man. He just came out of nowhere. Um, he was definitely a Kane Womack recommendation for sure because he was South Alabama. And then at the Eskridge punt return, and there was a flag thrown on that, and I was like, oh, they're calling this shit back. Illegal man downfield on the punt team. It was just so many flags, so the game went on forever. We left early in the fourth quarter because we were like, all right, this is just getting ridiculous. It was like already 9:30 by then. It was at 7 p.m. kickoff. So, but it was a good time. It was a really good time. Pretty crowded for a preseason game, you know, a 7 p.m. preseason game. But we had a great time. Daniel, anything to add?
Yeah. Shout out my guy, Sam Howell. He's a good fucking quarterback, dude. I think he's really talented. You guys know I've been high on him for a little bit. You guys
I
know
agree,
I
man.
think the Washington Commanders absolutely screwed that guy over. And if he was on a better team or a more competent franchise, he would have looked a lot better than he did last year. And I'll even tell you what, he looked good in the first half of last season. He had some really good moments. And I expect that he's going to have more of that with Seattle, as time goes on. But no, he looked really good. I think I mentioned
The
a lot too. Like Seattle and Cleveland are both
Yes,
in
said this perfectly.
they're in pretty similar spots right now. Very good coaching staffs.
Good
Kind of
defense.
good defenses. Kind of a iffy-ish quarterback situation, but still like competent enough, I guess.
I think the Seahawks are going to
I
be
need to
like the
see the
Browns last
Seahawks.
year.
I need to see the Seahawks defense in regular season before I say they've got a good defense. I'm not saying they won't. I'm just saying I need to
Yeah,
see
no,
it in
that's
actual
a totally
games.
fair. That's a totally fair argument. I think they're going to be pretty good, man. I think they're
So,
going to
something
be
you
pretty
forgot
I
is
good.
think they could be absolutely. They've got the personnel and the coaching to be good. You just got to see it.
No, that's totally fair. And I think they can end up being kind of like the Browns last year. Browns defense took a big step forward last year. We don't have a Myles Garrett, but I think we have like, on like overall depth of D
I think they're
line.
better in the secondary, especially at corner than the Browns are.
Yeah, and then, at the rest of the D line, it's a bit deeper, I'd say.
Especially interior, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think they're going to be similar. I think, I just hope we don't have to play 4 different quarterbacks like they did last year.
Ideally.
Um, but I think they're going to be pretty similar teams as the Browns were last year. Not as much ground and poundy, but like the one big thing about Howell that I've been really happy to see is him not forcing it and making dumb choices. If it's not there, he would take the ball and run it. And that was really good to see. He didn't force a single ball. PJ Walker had a really bad pick that got called back because of a roughing the passer. Like, it was like, what the hell was he doing here? So I think they've really worked on his not forcing the ball. That was his biggest issue. He threw too many picks last year. So that was my favorite development I've seen out of Howell. And he's really good throwing to his left. He always hits those deep bombs to his left. It's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Um,
Rob,
but
you're forgetting a very crucial piece of information.
what?
Tyler Huntley, we found out, is the Browns' fourth-string quarterback,
Yeah.
and he was kind of dotting up the Seahawks for us.
Yeah, he was. I was like, geez, he's number 4. He's behind because DTR did not look very good.
He didn't. He looked kind of rough, to be honest.
He Huntley looked way better than DTR. I'm just bummed that I didn't stay and try to get a Jameis autograph.
Yeah.
He was talking about remember those days you eat at CC's Pizza in his pregame hype speech against the Seahawks.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, I love Jameis, man. I love Jameis. He's awesome.
He's a
A
legend.
beautiful mind.
Beautiful mind. Sometimes you just listen to his podcasts and it's just like you just sit and listen to it and it's like I could listen to this for hours.
He's gonna be the Charles Barkley commentator eventually. Get him in the color booth. Now he's not Charles Barkley caliber player at all, but
Yeah.
personality. He's got one, man.
One day we need to have a Charles Barkley level personality to go with a Charles Barkley level player in the NFL.
RG3 could have
If
been that
Gronk,
if
oh
if
man, if Gronk had any sort of charisma in the Fox studio, he tries. I'll give him credit. He
Gronk
tries.
is too frat boy.
Yeah, yeah, it's true.
Charles Barkley is just he's just one of your boys, you know. He's very very funny, very good timing. Knows when to dish it and take it.
It's true. Well, there you go. Um, any more thoughts from the game before we get going?
Um, it was impossible. I brought binoculars to the game. It took me a while to find Mike McDonald because you know Pete Carey could find sticking out in the crowd. He's doing his squat with his gray hair. Mike
Right.
McDonald wearing a hat, hard to find.
Because every other coach is also wearing a hat.
Oh, they're all wearing hats, man.
Yep. There you go. Very good. In that case, moving forward, this has nothing to do with anything we're going to talk about.
That's
This is just a funny
hilarious, man.
tweet that I found. Jake
You got to
Bobo
send that
first
to me.
overall. I also think it's funny pointing out 8 hours per pick.
What the fuck? What is that?
I'll put that in the group chat for you guys.
I can't
later.
believe I didn't see that because I'm pretty sure I follow that guy.
What is that?
It's just some random sleeper draft.
Oh.
But
You haven't
it's just,
gone to Sleeper, man. Sleeper's the best.
yeah, I like sleeper. But it's just funny because it's like, hey, Jake Bobo first overall pick.
What's
and then you
what's
look up
funny
and
about
see
that?
they have 8 hours per pick.
Whoa, this is Is this a 16
And it's also
team league?
it's a 32 team league.
No, it's a 16. Oh, Jesus, a 32 team league.
This is the most intense league I've ever seen. And Jake Bobo got picked first overall. That's pretty great.
Yeah, we're all Bobo heads here. We're all Bobo heads. Maybe I should get a Bobo throwback.
There you go. Get it before a Byron Murphy throwback. We'll talk more about this when we do the CFB pod later this week, but props to Rob. He nailed this prediction. Not only did FSU not cover, but
I
Georgia
deserve
Tech
2 points for this.
won.
I deserve
We're
2
not
points
giving
for
this
this.
is not a win. This is not a points thing. This is your seasonal record.
I deserve 2 points.
This is a seasonal record.
I deserve
because
2 wins. I'm a genius.
that's not how this works.
Hey, you're either a genius or you're lucky.
That was a fun game, man.
It was fun. It was fun.
All the
Welcome
games
back, football.
on Saturday were fun.
Welcome back, football. That was fun. I'm not gonna lie. I only watched
DJU was not it, man. He was
No.
not it.
Yeah, the Oregon Bo Nix, where you just throw within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage and let other people
And
do
geez,
it for you.
that FSU D line got dominated.
Oh yeah, it was tough. It was tough. Not a great look for the boys.
I saw something though. The last 3 Georgia Tech coaches have all covered, or I think actually beaten Florida State in their first matchup against Florida State, and
Wow.
Georgia Tech has covered in like their last 8.
Oh, good for them. There you go.
But it was their first top 10 win since that block kick return for touchdown. Georgia Tech's back, man.
Georgia Tech is back. I did see that was the first. Yeah, I did. They played that all the time on the broadcast. So good for them. We'll go into these picks later this week too on a different pod. But for now, it's time to
That
talk
New
about
Mexico Montana State game, that was a fun one too. New Mexico blew that, but they got a good
Montana
coach.
State comeback, yeah.
Delaware State putting up a fight.
I did not see that. I didn't. Do
You didn't
the
get
Hawaii
your first
test, I'm
Hawaii
afraid.
test of the
I
season?
did not participate in the Hawaii test because I'm on a spectrum.
I sail the high seas, my friend.
You you either that can mean a couple different things. That means you either found a way to get Spectrum or you literally went to Hawaii, and I don't know which one's more ridiculous.
I like that shirt. I am voting for Byron Murphy in 2024 as well. So
Oh yeah,
that's how we
Murph
agree.
24. Yeah, there you go. He's not
Balls too.
eligible, I'm afraid. Um, Not eligible, needs to be 35 years old, but maybe. This is actually for Miles Murphy, sorry. Get better
Ah,
soon. Let's see. On the topic of the Bengals, actually big news today. CeeDee Lamb contract extension
yeah.
probably accelerates the Jamar Chase contract
He's got his
extension.
number.
And guess what? Jamar returned to practice on Sunday. Now, Brian Windhorse, why would he do that?
Well, have you heard the smoke that they're gonna trade Micah now? Maybe to the Bears?
I don't think that's gonna happen.
They're always the Bears, bro.
I did
It's
see
always the Bears. It's
Caleb
always
retweeted a
Chicago.
edit of it, but it ain't gonna happen.
I think they'd be fools to trade him, man.
Dallas's identity is Micah, man.
They're going their defense takes such a huge step back if they don't have Micah.
Exactly. I don't see
Always the
anybody.
fucking Bears, guys. I don't understand. Why do they got to be an
I know, man. Well,
He's so
it wasn't
impressive, man.
did Eberflus ever coach Micah? I don't think so.
I don't think he did. I think the Bears just
Not
Eberflus
NBA
was on
player.
Cowboys staff.
Throw picks.
But Eberflus got hired out of Indy though.
True, but he was on Cowboys staff.
Yeah, but he's been with Indy for probably since I think 2018.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And Micah was drafted in 21, so I do not believe he ever drafted him.
Yeah, I
Or
don't think
ever
those paths
coached.
crossed.
Yo, guys,
Um,
want to hear something funny?
Yeah.
what's that?
The Packers trade for Malik Willis earlier today.
Ah!
Wait, did they really?
Yep, they did.
For a seventh.
Oh, I missed that. Jeez, this is stuff
That
I
old
missed.
that old Ben Baldwin tweet got brought up again. It was Seahawks Malik Willis fell to the Seahawks at 41 and they took a running back. I think we got the better end of that one. That was K9.
There were people saying the Lions were going to take him at 2 overall that year, bro.
That was
I
Beau and I
remember
both
that.
were like that.
Stupid.
Beau and I were both like, this is ridiculous. All these quarterbacks suck.
Dang, I did not even see this. This is the sort of stuff you miss when you have to put your phone in a drawer when you're teaching, man. This is crazy.
You have passing period, man. No
I do have
excuses.
passing period. I do have passing period.
You don't use your entire passing period on Twitter.
I do not. No, I use my entire lunch. That
Yeah.
makes me feel better. That's crazy. Malik Willis to the Packers. Oh wait, hold on. This is a good tweet. Hold on, this is a good tweet. Let me pull this up. Let's see. I know. Daniel will get a lot of. We'll get a smile out of this one.
They're already getting ready to move on.
You're just expediting the process. So does Jordan Love go to the Jets in like 4 years then?
Yep. Yep.
Media cycles faster these days.
Yep. So there you go.
That team, bro. That's funny. That was nice.
That was good. Shall we talk Hood now? The time to talk Hood? Are we missing anything else?
Hood Husky?
No, we're not talking Hood Husky. Shout out Hood Husky though. Good guy. Good guy.
I like Hood Husky. He is a big Jimmy head, just like you.
I love me some Jimmy, bro. And you know what? If the Falcons win the NFC South like we're projecting, Jimmy Lake's gonna be a big part of that. But
You think any team gives Jimmy Lake a shot at head coach?
Right now?
I think he's probably a career
No
DC.
way.
If he has success, I think
If he's got with like the best defense in the league, the conversation he might get interviews, but unfortunately,
he's gonna get Rooney ruled. Poor guy.
Yeah.
I think he's just got too much baggage. I don't think an NFL team would think that.
Yeah, exactly. So,
you know who he'd hire he'd hire either Arthur Smith or Greg Roman as his OC. Or maybe just run it back with John Don.
I don't think he'd hire
Pro
John
style
Don
offense.
again. He was gonna fire John Don. He wanted to hire Kellen Moore. He would probably try to see if he can find a way to get Kellen Moore.
He should have fired John Don at the time of the Montana game. That's what I would have done.
He probably would try to see if he can get Kellen Moore. Nick Sirianni gets fired. They hire Jimmy Lake. He can just keep Kellen Moore. There you go.
Gosh, imagine Jimmy Lake working with Vic Fangio. That would be
Oh,
not
God.
pretty.
No, I don't think Vic Fangio would stick around at that point.
Jimmy Lake's kind of a new iteration of those hard-nosed old school OCs or DCs.
Yeah, just a younger edition. But there you go. There's the obligatory Jimmy Lake mention that we have to have on every single podcast.
Let's get Jimmy Lake on the pod.
That would be sick, actually. That'd be sick if the Falcons are having a good season. That'd be a big time podcast.
You know
guest.
what would have been funny if Jimmy showed up to when they were working out Mike Penix.
Oh yeah. Well, you know, it wouldn't have been DeBoer, so it's like 2 degrees of separation at that point. That's probably okay.
Well, yeah, he was gone by then. Joe was there
What do you mean?
at the Penix workout.
Joe? Wait, Joe? What?
Jed.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it would have been okay. Like, it's not awkward if you go, like, if DeBoer was there, then hey, you're with the guy who took your job.
Yeah.
At that point, you're with the guy
Honestly,
who took
I
the
bet
guy's job.
I bet Husky fans have worse feelings towards DeBoer right now than they have to Jimmy right now.
Oh no, back in 2020,
Jimmy still likes UW.
Yeah, at the beginning of the year, people were like saying, like, you know what, as bad as as bad as it ended with Jimmy, at least he never ended things the way the board
Although
did.
the word was
Jimmy
he was
got
trying to get to the NFL though, was the word.
Jimmy got fired and he put out a statement of
Yeah.
support for Husky Nation. DeBoer, 9 months
He
later,
was too
still
busy.
hasn't done it.
He was too busy. That's what he said on his interview. It's like,
Yeah.
fuck you.
Yeah, too busy, man.
You had
Literally put
a
notes out.
private jet ride to Alabama. You can't say shit.
Yeah, Ryan Grubb put out something. Come on, man.
Ryan Grubb said I wanted the job.
Yeah. So
Jamarcus Shepard and everybody put out a statement. Everybody except maybe
Mhm.
like Morrell and stuff, but like who cares there? I bet Inch put out a statement.
probably. I don't know for sure. Maybe, but
Shep did, Huff did. I think Sheridan did. Watch Grubb do really well, which I think is going to happen. Get an NFL job, and Sheridan is the Seahawks OC. That would not be good.
No,
That
that
would-
would not be.
I
a
don't
good
think Sheridan's a
transition.
good OC. I mean,
It'd be
we saw
funny.
what he did.
Wait. What would be
Indiana.
funnier? There's a universe in the future where Jimmy Lake and Ryan Grubb are both NFL head coaches going up against each other.
I think DeBoer is probably going to be an NFL coach too.
Well, actually, no. We get it later this year. We get to see Ryan Grubb OC versus Jimmy Lake DC. We
True.
can see that later this year,
And maybe MPJ plays.
and maybe MPJ plays.
The storylines of that, if MPJ is playing, of going up against that Michigan defense again, hoping for
Mhm.
redemption. Gosh, give it injury gods. You know what to do.
So, all right, boys.
All right, how long we in now? And now we're just finally getting
We
to picks. An hour in.
are 43 minutes in. So there you go.
All right, let's get to picks.
So first, we have to talk about
The
this
Bunkles.
the team that unfortunately came in last place in the AFC North last year.
They did?
Yeah, they went 9-8 and finished last in the AFC
That's
North.
crazy, man.
Yeah, they would have won the NFC South, by the way.
Seahawks went
the
9-8 as well. Same.
the-
So that means they're equally as good.
The
They could've
worst
won the
team,
division with Jake Browning starting.
but the
That's
Bengals also
wild.
beat the Seahawks head to head. So
Oh shit, that's right. Thanks for Byron Murphy.
you're welcome. We needed to fix our O-line anyways. I'm glad we got Mims. But anyways, point being, the
Would you
It's
have taken
crazy.
Murphy over Mims? Or Mims over Murphy?
I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. I really like Murphy, so I would not have been upset
That's a
with the pick.
tough pick, man.
Yeah, I when Murphy was gone off the board, I was like Mims was the guy. Mims or Newton, but Newton continued to fall and apparently has another foot injury. So hindsight 2020 on that one, definitely would rather have Mims.
I was
Um,
never the highest on Newton personally.
I was a big Newton guy.
I do
I was a
remember
big
that.
yeah,
Who did you have rated higher, Newton or Murphy?
Newton.
Mm.
But like
They're close. They're close.
they were both 1A guys, very, very high. So um but anyways, talking Bengals here.
Newton
Um
benefited from playing, funky defense. That's one thing I'll say.
yeah. Talking Bengals, like I said, would have won the NFC South. Despite
Does that
Joe
mean
Burrow
Baker
not playing.
Mayfield is a better quarterback than Joe Burrow?
Joe Burrow didn't play half the games last year, which I was about to say. So finished last in the AFC North, still went 9-8, despite quarterback playing about 4 games healthy all season. Defense being the second worst in the entire NFL because they didn't have competent safety play. Um, the hardest schedule in the NFL, having to play the hardest division in the league and also the Bills, 49ers, Chiefs, and so on, Texans, Jaguars, just teams that were good. All that, they still went 9-8. Shout out Jake Browning, you carried. Also, shout out Zach Taylor. I know they didn't make the playoffs. I think last year was his best coaching job.
Hmm.
The fact
And
that
you're
they were 9-8 with everything that went on was insane.
definitely set up perfect. They played the long game. Let the Ravens have their great season and blow it, and now they
Mhm.
got a last place schedule.
Yep. And yeah, guess what? Guess what? While the Ravens get to play the Bills and the Texans and
Niners? No, no, no,
the
no.
Bucks. No, Bucks. Which Bucks, whatever. But anyways, so Ravens get to play the Bills, Texans, and Bucks, while the Bengals get to play the Patriots, the Titans, and the Panthers.
Three of the worst teams in the NFL.
Yep.
Do they play the Chargers?
They do play the
They
Chargers,
play
yeah.
all
The
four of the
entire
worst
division
teams in
plays
the
the
NFL,
Chargers,
man.
though, yeah. So that's fun. They
Is
also
there
get the
any
Broncos, who we have
really
going
bad
4
team
12
you're
and 1.
missing?
Any other teams we think are going to be
Commies.
really, really bad? Commies. They play the commies too.
What about the Saints?
They do not play the Saints, no.
Almost every team, almost every really bad team.
Yeah. So, talking about the roster though, there's been quite the shakeup here. So as far as people not here anymore, Joe Mixon not here anymore. Tyler Boyd not here anymore. Trying to think who else. Jonah Williams not here anymore. Addition by subtraction, for being 100% honest. Actually, I'm curious. So
Wow,
we
hate
got.
to your Folsom boy.
I know. I'm sorry. He has not lived up to expectations
He's
in
at the
recent years.
Cards now, right?
Arizona. I want to see what his grade was last year because I do not think it was high. Yeah, 58.5.
Ooh, jeez,
Um,
man. Retirement home for him.
yeah, checking. I want to check Mixon's grade last year.
I
Wow, I'm
cannot.
surprised Mixon was that high.
I
Honestly.
think I think that's a pretty friendly offense to a hard running guy with how they spread it out.
Mhm.
So Zach Moss is a good fit. I cannot
Yeah.
believe how much the Texans gave for him.
Yeah. And we're gonna have a true committee backfield too with Zach Moss and Chase Brown. I'm excited to see what Chase Brown can do this year. I
I
think he's
like
gonna
Chase
have a
Brown.
big year.
Where Chase Brown play
Yoshi,
college?
Illinois.
That's right.
Yoshi taking over in the slot, but
Yale
obviously there's
boy.
gonna be a healthy dose of Jermaine Burton in there too. Princeton, not Yale. Ivy
Oops.
League though. Obviously you got Mike Gesicki out here. Let's throw up a little 12 personnel though, just to get our boy Drew Sample some
Yeah.
love. Let's see. Although they're going to live out of 11 personnel. Honestly, they might live out of 10 personnel and go 5 wide. Honestly, if I'm being
I mean,
100% real.
honestly, that's already 10 personnel. Let's be
Yeah.
honest here.
Or
Does
not 10
Gesicki?
personnel, 1 personnel. I mean, where they don't have a running back period because they love them.
No, 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 no. I'm saying Gesicki's a receiver.
Oh well, yeah. In this case, this is 10 personnel essentially. Yeah. Um, Looking at which is the validation I've seen some people say, oh, they can carry 5 tight ends because Gesicki's really just your 7th receiver. And not wrong. On defense, losing DJ Reader hurts a lot. Hate you for that, Daniel. Not sorry, I know it's not your fault, but I still hate you for it. Um, okay, this both the nickel and the base are both wrong here because there's no scenario where
Osai's
there
playing the 3.
where Osai's playing 3 tech. Yeah, no, that does not make any sense. That would be Sheldon Rankins right there. They might no, that'd be Sheldon Rankins. Hendrickson, Hubbard. Hendrickson continues to be one of the most underrated defense players in the league.
Such an underrated linebacker duo too.
Oh yeah, I know. And the grades here, did they have some rough spots last year? Yeah, but that's just because the safety help behind them was just non-existent. And that's not to hate on Dax Hill or Jordan Battle. I think both of those guys have bright futures in the league. But Dax Hill is a corner, and Jordan Battle didn't have any help next to him. You got young guys playing.
Are they playing Dax Hill at like corner 4 now?
No, him and Turner are basically splitting reps at CB2.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and he was really good in preseason outside corner. So, the 2 Michigan guys going head to head for that. Taylor Britt, Turner. I actually like their corner room a lot. It's young. They've spent a lot of draft capital there in recent
except
years.
Mike Hilton.
I think it's turned hit. Except Mike Hilton.
Ageless wonder.
Ageless wonder. We love him. He is a. It's funny, honestly, because obviously the Bengals have like their TikTok and their social media accounts. On each side of the ball, they have guys that just like own social media. On offense, it's Orlando Brown. He's hilarious, awesome dude, hilarious on the mini mic, which is even funnier because he's a massive human being. And then on defense, it's the other way around. They got Mike Hilton, who looks like he could probably fit inside of Orlando Brown's like little briefcase when he's walking in on game days. Very tiny guy, but hilarious. A lot of personality. We love him. And their safety duo obviously brought in Geno Stone to replace what was Dax Hill there. I think it's a big upgrade.
It's so interesting how little he went for. It's one of those guys. Is he someone that NFL values as much as a viewer does? You know, that's the one question I have. He was great last year.
He was great last year, and I think you know what, Anarumo defense. I think he's going to be a good fit for the Anarumo defense too, where he can kind of play that Jesse Bates.
How similar is it to the Ravens defense? It's a little different,
not
right?
really. It's not really similar at all. Anarumo's defense is kind of like it's based off of disguises. It's based off of catching offenses off guard, trying to trick quarterbacks.
Isn't that what the McDonald defense is, though, too?
Kind of, I guess, in a way. I feel like Mike McDonald's defense is more versatile in that like move guys around or something.
Blitz stations.
Blitz stations. Exactly. That's what I think of. Whereas the Anarumo defense, it's just constant rotations and coverage. It doesn't. It's going to say the front 4 guys are going to win their battles.
Yeah.
But on the back end, you're just constant rotations. Everyone's rotating. And when you have a young safety duo like they did last year with Dax Hill and Jordan Battle, it's not going to work out. I also forgot Nick Scott was back there.
Oof.
That was a yikes. Forgot about Nick Scott. That was rough. But anyways, yeah, I'm excited. I think the Bengals defense is going to be a lot better this year. Supposedly, they've been dominating both joint and non-joint practices. So
that's good. By the way, I forgot to mention this. I got to have a very nice private show in the room Daniel is now. I got to see his little studio. It was very fun. Very fun.
Got to play him a little set after my show got canceled.
It was a blast.
Boy, it's a neurofunk drum and bass.
It was really fun.
Maybe I got to get Beau into it as well.
Bring your DJ stuff down to Arizona.
There you go. There's the move. I forgot to tell you guys, there's a Waffle House like 2 blocks down from my apartment.
Dude,
that's the first thing we're doing.
It is the first thing we're doing.
But hopping into the games now. So, obviously we've already got them at 9-2 through the first month of the season. We got them at 4-0, playing at home 3-5 against Baltimore. No, Daniel, they're not going to lose to the Patriots. I'm sorry.
They will.
Patriots fans keep saying that. Oh my god!
Yeah, every Patriots fan online thinks they're starting 2-0. It's crazy.
Well, someone was like, I don't know if you saw me tweet this. It was like, he's like a Patriots fan. It's like Bengals are overrated and Mike Macdonald's a rookie head coach. It's like I was like, Gerard Mayo's a rookie coach too. He's like, yeah, and it was like, what?
Yeah,
Wait,
no,
bro, I have a proposal. If the
yeah.
Patriots do win week 1, then you have to be a Lions fan for that week,
For the rest of the week,
for the rest of the week
sure,
until
okay.
until like before the start of week 2.
I'm all right with that. That's
All
fine
right,
because the
bet.
Bengals play in the morning and the Lions play in the afternoon. So, or they, I sorry, no, they play Sunday Night Football. I forgot. So yeah,
Yeah,
never mind.
I'd bet the house on the Bengals winning that.
But anyways, so they're gonna be 4-0 going into week 5 here, or we've collectively projected them to go 4-0 going into week 5 here. Um, they play the Ravens at home. This is a game that again with a hobbled Burrow, they barely lost last year. They easily could have won this if not for the refs literally calling a DPI on Cam Taylor-Britt when Odell Beckham was tackling him. Um, it's tough. I'm actually gonna project the Ravens to win this one. I think they split. And I just think because the Bengals seem to always start slow, this is they lose the first one, but I think they'll win the second one. So I'm projecting the
I
Bengals loss
am
here.
also predicting a split, but the other way. I think
The
they're
other
going
way,
to
that's
have
fine.
that really hot start and go into their cursed place. I want to see them 6-0 going into
Six and
Cleveland,
zero going into the land.
into the dog
Oh
pound.
gosh. All right, Daniel, you're the tiebreaker then.
You say they're gonna lose because of a slow start, and they're 4-0, bro.
Yeah, but they always have a screw up right around this
However, to
time of
be
year.
fair,
Did Bengals fans get more spoiled over the last couple of years? Is that
Oh,
what I'm hearing?
absolutely.
to be
Absolutely. We
fair,
have.
look at those
4-0
first
is
four
not good
games
enough,
though.
guys.
Look at those. Okay,
Patriots.
but look at these
Can't
first
win
four
every
games.
game by
Um,
Other
20.
than the KC game. Other than the KC game. Look at these first four.
Rob, I think Beau's turning into a Celtics fan before our eyes.
yep. Bengals winning this one, man.
Only won by 20. That's not good enough. God,
Hey,
we're
I
so
would. Hey, you
bad.
should have heard me after because I was texting Rob during the Seahawks game last year when the Bengals beat them, and I was like, oh, they should have lost. This is ridiculous.
You got Wed Zone Waldron, or I got Wed Zone Waldron.
Yeah. So, all right,
Although
Daniel,
Gino
make
did
make.
miss a very open JSN.
Oh yeah, give me Baltimore.
All right, there you go.
Really?
I'll project the split later then. Okay, so then they go into Cleveland. They always lose in Cleveland. I'm not even thinking about this one. It's a loss.
House
They
of
suck in
Horrors.
Cleveland. It's like a it's literally cursed for them.
Every team has one. Every team has
Yeah.
one.
So it's
I think
funny.
we're all in agreement here.
I will take the Browns as well.
It's just funny. Burrow's got a winning record in Pittsburgh, which for the longest time was Cincinnati's House of Horrors. But now it's Cleveland. Even though Cleveland hasn't even been that good, they haven't been horrible the way that they were for most of the 2010s, but it's not like they've been good. Anyways, so then we got them coming back, beating the Eagles in the whiteout game. They never lose in the whiteout, but I'm enjoying that much. Then they beat the Raiders in
How was their record in the whiteouts before Burrow?
their record in their whiteouts before, bro. That's a good question. I'll do some math here.
Color
They
Rush was
won
like
the
2016, I think.
They won the first one 2016. They lost in 2017 to the Texans. 2018. When did they win them in 2018? Oh, they won them in week 1 against the Colts in 2018. I remember that. They won that game. Actually, you know what? All right, hold on. Bengals, because at a certain point they started wearing them multiple times a year.
Hmm.
So they have not lost since they got white helmets. I will say that.
Okay. A true whiteout.
Yeah, since the true whiteout, they've never lost.
Speaking of helmets, though, thoughts on that Husky black helmet? I like it.
Yeah, it looks good. It looks smooth.
I'm a little worried about Adidas going all in on like the dots on the numbers. Don't love that. But I love a blackout, man. I'm probably gonna get that one.
Yeah.
If I can get a
Yeah,
Bruner NIL black, that's what I want.
this website's kind of laggy. I don't know if I want to worry about this right now.
No, yeah,
Point
let's
being,
move on.
they have not lost with white helmets on, and I don't think it starts here. Then they go to Baltimore on a short week. However, and the reason I'm going to project a Bengals win here, this is revenge. Thursday Night Football in Baltimore. That was the Burrow injury where the Ravens fans started chanting FJB. We don't like that. And Joe's going to remember that. And Joe holds grudges. I'm projecting the Bengals win, get the split. Daniel go first.
I think Baltimore sweeps.
The much worse Baltimore Ravens team.
They're still pretty good, man.
They're much worse than they were last year, and
They are
barely
much worse
swept
than
them
they were
last
last year,
year.
man.
Here's my thing. I think Bengals get swept by the Ravens and they sweep Pittsburgh.
I could see that.
They lost a lot on defense, man. They lost Queen, Stone, Darby, Clowney. They lost a lot, man. And the most important piece of all, Mike McDonald.
Mike McDonald, yeah.
Just-
They're basically running out a brand new defense. Now, granted, they still have Matt Bike, they still have Roquan Smith, and they still have Kyle Hamilton. Outside of that, I mean, Marlon Humphrey's kind of past his prime at this stage of his career. A lot of injuries.
Don't love their secondary. Last year was their year, man.
Yeah.
Although I don't like, I will be willing to force a split, but I want to flip them.
I'm all right with that. I'm all right with that. There you go. Then they get a bye.
Part of the deal. I'm a deal maker.
There you go. Then so they got now they're on a losing streak, so that sucks. They lose to the Chargers in LA here. Then they get a bye week to kind of rest, recuperate, figure out what the hell's going on before they take on the hated Pittsburgh Steelers.
Is that prime time?
This is not prime time now. Neither Steelers game in prime time this year, which is kind of
Interesting.
surprising. Well, I guess the last one's week 18. Someone could get flexed. But I don't know. Coming off a bye at home, assuming Joe has kind of owned the Steelers when he's been healthy.
I still own you.
So I'm going with the Bengals here.
I like it off the bye, and I just don't think that Steelers quarterback Kyle Allen will be able to hang with the Bengals.
Yeah. God. So then we got him with a loss on Monday Night Football in Dallas. I agree with that one.
You're gonna get screwed by the refs there.
Yeah. Then they go to Tennessee, take down the Titans, and then they get the home game with Cleveland. Are they cursed against the Browns in general? A little bit, not as much as they are in Cleveland. Also, this home Thursday Night Football game, which is always nice. So
I'll take the Bengals in that game.
Yeah, I'm leaning Bengals.
I am too.
Okay.
All right.
Then week
Let's check the record. Let's check the record.
So they're 12-4. The
Ooh,
Ravens.
Yeah, you're gonna have to play.
So the Steelers won't be in that conversation. The Browns have already been eliminated, but the Ravens very much could be in that conversation. So we'll come back to them.
I think that's not a rest starters because look at the records of the Chiefs and Bills.
Oh, true. They could be in the hunt for 1 seed at that point. So okay, we'll come back to that one then. Let's go with the Steelers next, since we talked about them so much, and they are on the thumbnail.
Pittsburgh Steelers, Steelers Nation. Let's towel.
Let's smell.
Let's towel.
Let's
towel, baby.
Oh,
Troy's not starting. Damn.
Yeah, it's been quite well. Although I have heard Braxton Jones, or is it Braxton Jones? Am I crazy?
Nope.
No, Broderick Jones. I'm an idiot. Braxton Jones is the Bears guy. Broderick Jones could get benched.
Put in Troy.
For Troy, to be clear.
Who's more?
Dan Moore Jr. Apparently he is locked in. He's an entrenched starter in Pittsburgh, despite being horrible, according to most Steelers fans. So
I'd go with Troy and Jones, honestly.
We go 12 personnel here. I mean, they got Harrison there. But then they got Harrison there, and then
but you got Darnell Washington.
Darnell Washington's not gonna play at all, though.
He's gonna block, that's for sure.
Yeah, but anyways, so eventful offseason in Pittsburgh. Obviously, they completely switched out their QB room. They now have both Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Kyle Allen.
Especially Kenny. I hate you the most. You ever see that gif of Mike Tollett and his Cartman? Oh, I love that
Yeah.
one. It works so
Uh,
well.
Najee, obviously, they got the Najee Jalen Warren backfield tandem. Jalen Warren's better, but side note. Offensive line, they have done work on it. Is it good enough yet? I mean,
They got guys we like
they've got
in the
some guys we
draft.
like, although
In the draft. In the draft.
Broderick Jones has been a real letdown in
They
the
got the guys we liked in the draft, is what I'm saying.
that's true. They did get Mason McCormick, Zach Frazier, and Troy Patani. I will say that. So credit to them for that. Pat Freiermuth, I like him at tight end. George Pickens is one receiver. They need
Oh,
Brandon Ayuk badly though, because the
oh,
other receivers are rough. I
woof
feel like
at that, man.
they traded Deontay Johnson thinking they were going to be able to easily find a replacement for him. Nope. It's George Pickens and a whole lot of nothing after that. They really better be praying that Brandon Ayuk doesn't come to a
If
contract in San
George
Francisco.
Pickens getting the number one treatment too.
Yeah. So, on defense, Joey Porter Jr., really solid rookie year. Grade doesn't really reflect that, but he was
Who would
good
have
out
thunk it?
there. And then Dante Jackson on the other side there after a couple strong years in
Look
Carolina.
at the grade Alex Highsmith gets because he plays next to TJ Watt.
Yeah, Alex Highsmith's a good player.
He's a good player. He'd be nothing without TJ and Cam Hayward.
They don't really play out. Yeah, Beanie Bishop. Beanie Bishop is their starting nickel. Okay, we'll just leave them in base. Um, yeah, no, honestly, the Steelers actually run base probably more than anybody
Oh
looking at this
man,
lineup. This is a
Keanu
pretty
missing on Keanu Benton and getting Cam Young instead hurt me at the time of the draft, man. And it
yeah.
hurts even more now.
Cam Hayward's starting to fall off a little bit, but still a good player. Yeah,
Oh, I
you
like
know,
Cole
they're
Holcomb
great
too.
middle. Look at that edge duo is fantastic. Cole Holcomb, Patrick Queen there for the starting inside backers, and then you got Minka, who's not quite what he was a few years ago, but still really solid safety. And then Sean Elliott is the other safety across from him. So, defensively, pretty consistent, only
I
just
just love
swapping
that
out
meme of
Dante
like
Jackson in the corner room, which I
I
think
love that
makes him
meme of the
and
guy
Patrick
like
Queen.
being at a Steelers Eagles games like Joey Porter and what's his Dave? Where am I? What year am I in?
Oh yeah, Joey Porter versus
That linebacker. I'm blank.
shoot, who was
Trotter.
it?
Jeremiah
Oh
Trotter.
yeah, Joey Porter and Jeremiah Trotter. That's right. That was funny. That was good. Yeah, let's see. Yeah, I mean, offensively, a lot of turnover. Defensively, they throw Patrick Queen and Dante Jackson in there and just kind of run it back with the Deshaun Elliott too. I think was also new. I think he was not here last year.
What's
It doesn't
going on
say.
with Future Junior right now? I wonder how Future Junior Wilson is.
Yeah, right. Don't know. Couldn't tell you.
Win Wilson.
When
That is a
Wilson.
bad name for a baby man.
That's rough. But anyways, getting into their schedule. So right now we've
I
got them at
wonder
7 and
what it's
5.
like for Russell Wilson to be your dad.
We've only got
Niners fans would know. Let's
we've
go.
only got 5 games to project for the Steelers, and they're all in division. We've gotten to this part of the series, guys.
Got to give me some
Um,
credit for that one. Come on, that was a good one.
all right. Okay.
It's very
Um,
well known that Russ was like their front office's boogeyman. Like they just were sick of him.
actually, I think this whole video is just going to be in division games.
That's what I said. I predicted it. Let's go.
Yeah, once we get to the NFC, once we get to the North and the West and the NFC, we'll be back to not as many. But yeah, for the whole
Well,
rest of the
whichever one we
video.
do first, we'll have
Right,
more.
right. That's
Well,
true.
we're gonna do it in the same episode, so it won't matter.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. So the first game we have predicting. Well, let's see. What's the Steelers record going into the bye week? We got them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Wow,
6. 6-2 going into the bye. Very solid
they're gonna
start.
have another late season collapse.
And then they lose to the commies.
Ooh,
Home against Baltimore in week 11. You know what? They actually have a way. They own Baltimore a little bit. I'm giving this one to the Steelers.
all right,
I was gonna say I'm giving that to Pittsburgh.
I'm cool with that.
Gosh, 7-3 going into week 12. They're probably riding high. Then they go to Cleveland. A road Thursday game. Yeah, giving this one to Cleveland.
Does Russ's head get knocked in by Miles Garrett?
Yeah, probably. I'm going Cleveland. Daniel.
I'm going Pittsburgh on Thursday night.
All right, Rob.
I'm going Cleveland. Tough place to go that time of year on a Thursday night game.
Then they go to Cincinnati and lose, and then they get another game against Cleveland. The infamous 2-3. I think they take the second one against Cleveland at home.
I'm
Yeah.
cool with that.
December 8th. All right. Then they lose to the Eagles. Is this a primetime game? Yeah, no, just a Sunday afternoon game.
Oh, this is
And
the Joey
then-
Porter, Jeremiah Trotter game. Let's go.
Yep. And then not on Christmas, but the Saturday before Christmas, they go to Baltimore. I think they sweep the Ravens because they keep doing it every year.
Yeah, I'm actually with you, Beau.
I'm cool with that.
All right. And then they play, I believe, the Chiefs. Yeah, they beat the Chiefs on Christmas Day. That's fun. And then we got them week 18. They're 10-6 right now.
We'll come back to that.
And then the Ravens, we only have one game to predict for them. And it's just the one game against the Browns. Let's talk Ravens though. Actually, no, let's talk Browns first because they were second in the division. So Browns, we got 7-8 right now. Cleveland.
Cleveland rocks. Cleveland
Their off season was not actually very eventful. It was a
Uneventful.
lot of I mean, they got Jerry Jeudy. That's cool.
Do you see that Broncos fan like post it? Like they gave their baby to like a Broncos player, and they posted on Instagram like he was holding the baby, and some Broncos fan commented, "Good thing you didn't give it to Jerry Jeudy, or he would have dropped it."
Right. On offense, they're kind of just running it back, honestly. Obviously, you're hoping Nick Chubb can be back
But
at
with
some point
not
early
without
in
an
the season.
elite quarterback like Joe Flacco.
Right. Yeah, they're running it back with Deshaun's back for now until he gets hurt. They did get Jerry Jeudy. He was really the only new addition on offense. Everything else, offensive line across the board's the same. David Njoku had a good year last year. He's back, obviously. Amari Cooper flirted with trade requests, but didn't actually pull the trigger. He's back. So yeah, that's how we're kind of looking there. On nickel, like Zadarius Smith on the interior. That's a little strange, but anyways, what if we go to base?
Well, Myles Garrett and Darius Smith on the interior.
Yeah. Is this Quentin Jefferson? Yeah, we got Quentin Jefferson, Dalvin Tomlinson on the
4-3 teams
interior.
love Quentin Jefferson. I cannot
Yeah.
believe he's been in the league this long, to be honest.
Yeah, look at that grade too. They got Myles Garrett and Zadarius Smith on the outside. I like that. Now it's our nickel up here now. So they got Jordan Hicks, who's a fine backer. JOK, who's a good backer there also. So solid linebacker tandem here. Corners, Martin Emerson. I'm surprised actually his grade's that low. I think
He was good.
Really good.
He was
yeah,
really good
22,
last
he was
year, man.
really good.
He was really good last year, too.
No.
You see those Cody Alexander grades, he graded them pretty high.
Denzel Ward's starting to fall off a little bit, but part of that's because of injuries.
Concussions.
He's fine. He's still good. Yeah,
He's had like
concussions
a
are tough.
million of them.
Yeah, and then Greg Newsome, slot corner, good player in the nickel role. Solid safety tandem too with one Thornhill and Grant.
They can
Delpit.
run a lot of man, and as Nick Saban says, it's the best coverage.
Grant Delpit, really started to I mean, if you look at his career grades, he's gotten better and better every single season. So, good player at LSU.
Big safety
coming out. So, yeah, a lot of running it back in Cleveland. They did not have the big splashy offseason moves they've made in recent years, which maybe turns out to help them. They are out Joe Flacco though, which sucks.
Is Deshaun Watson healthy enough to play Week 1? That's a question.
Maybe. So that's Cleveland. The only game we'll project is the first Ravens game. It's at home. I'll give it to Cleveland.
How does the Ravens usually do against Cleveland?
It's usually a split, especially recent years. The Ravens swept him last year, but a big part of that was all the QB injuries in Cleveland.
Yeah.
I'm projecting. I'll pick the Browns in this one.
Yeah,
Look
sure,
at that
I'll
five-game
go
run. Look,
split.
five win streak here.
I'll go a split.
Browns record right now.
Let's see. So they would have been 0-2, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, 1-5. Then they beat Cincinnati because, of course, they do 2-5. 2-5 going into this Baltimore game.
That's a must win.
I still think Baltimore wins that game, man.
I can see it. You know what?
I think they
2-5.
split. I think they split, and you got a big game for the Ravens in week 18.
I'll just give it the home game. So in that case, so the Bengals are locked into winning the division going into week 18, but they have bigger fish to fry. The number one seed. In the
Wait,
AFC.
let's look at tiebreakers.
Well, tiebreakers, I'll tell you right now. I mean,
No, for the
if they
Bengals.
okay. So I see what you're saying. So if say the Bengals lose to the Steelers, they still get the 1 seed. Never mind.
Okay, they're gonna rest then.
Then they might rest starters. Actually, let me just check here. So say the Raven, because sometimes this will screw it up too. Ravens, Browns. Okay, yeah, no matter what happens.
All right, split.
No matter what happens. So we'll call the Bengals split with the Steelers, and then the Ravens. Let's talk Ravens here first. Yeah, look
Well,
at
we
that.
got one more game to call for the Ravens.
Yeah, for the Browns and Ravens. But let's save that for the Ravens discussion here because we still haven't even talked about them. Ravens off season. This is fun. Yeah, we get to this part and we're talking more about the rosters than we're talking about the games. Ravens off season was rough.
Daniel Falele at guard.
We already talked about all the losses they had on defense. On offense, they lost.
Is Keaton Mitchell their starting running back?
No, there's no way it's not 21 personnel. Oh, they have a 21 personnel option. Interesting.
That's
yeah, here we go.
fullback,
That's gonna be their starting offense.
Oh, they have Derrick Henry.
Yeah, they have Derrick Henry. So yes, they did get Derrick Henry. That is
Let's
the
look at their
one
their 12.
major addition. Okay. I'll say Derrick Henry is pretty much the one major addition. Yeah, I get Likely out there too. But Likely is more a receiver. They probably split him out in the slot. So yeah, maybe. They do bring back Ronnie Stanley and Tyler Linderbaum at left tackle and center, respectively. Those are their only 2 returning offensive linemen, starting offensive linemen. They lost
2 guys
both.
we like there, though.
Yeah, they lost both their guards and their tackle. Ronnie Stanley's kind of fallen off in recent years.
He just can't stay healthy.
Yeah. They do have a solid tight end tandem in Likely and Andrews. Zay
Really
Flowers
good.
had a good rookie year. Rashad Bateman, still waiting on that from him. On defense here, like we said, they lost a lot. Definitely lost a lot here. Let's leave them in base for right now.
So, one big thing too, they just lose McDonald. They lost a ton of their defensive staff.
Yeah,
They still got
Weaver's.
They lost everyone but their linebackers coach.
Weaver's in Miami. What's his
their
name?
DB's coach is in Tennessee. I can't remember, like Gerard Wilson or something Wilson, I think.
Some dudes went to LA. And not a single.
Yeah, I'm getting some negative feedback from Uro right now. I think
he's still
it's gone now. It's gone away.
And I said some went to LA, but not a single one of them went to Seattle.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting how that worked out.
I think maybe more to came if they didn't get DC jobs themselves.
Right, that's true. I mean, basically the entire Ravens defensive staff was now at least in DC somewhere. Yeah, hold on, wait, the feedback's back. Okay, it's gone now. Okay, we're good now.
That's so weird. What's going on here?
I'm just getting a lot of negative, like a lot of static back.
Yeah, it could be the mic.
Yeah.
Still getting it?
It's not as bad as it was. Wait, it's back now. Weird.
Oh yeah. I just tested it. I hear that.
Ooh. It just got really bad a second ago.
I'm just gonna unplug and replug.
Okay. Classic unplug and replug. There you go. Oh. Hold on, I'm gonna. Yeah. Now we're gonna try this again. Let's see. I see him blinking, so I know he's not frozen. Live technical issues. That was weird too. It kind of came out of nowhere. It was fine for a while. Oh. Well, Rob's figuring out his technical issues. Like you said,
All
they
right, I
lost a
think we
lot on
should be
defense.
fixed.
Okay, it doesn't sound like it's there anymore. I don't see it heard anymore.
That's really strange.
Yeah.
Well, if you hear it again, I'll just go back to like the old mic system.
Yeah. But
I was
anyways,
gonna
we're talking.
say too, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, Marlon Humphrey. Like these guys are dogs. They're still dogs, man. I don't care if they lost a coach. I think you
Marlon
guys.
Humphrey's getting up there.
I think
Marlon
y'all are.
Humphreys. Yeah.
I think
The
y'all are
rest,
low on
yes.
the Ravens. Y'all are a little bit low on the Ravens. I get why Beau's low on them because they're a rival and he wants to hate on them, and that's totally justifiable. But I still think Baltimore's got a lot of dogs on their team.
I mean, we still have them making the playoffs.
Oh yeah. I still think
We
they're a
still have them
playoff
over
team.
10 wins.
I just think they're not a one seed anymore. They've lost.
They're
too
not going to
much
be
because they're
as
a 1 seed
amazing
anymore.
as they were last year. They
They were
were so
unstoppable
good
for
last year.
portions of last year.
Daniel and I got front row seats to it.
I just realized. I remember I said earlier that the Browns swept the Ravens swept the Browns. That's last year. That is not true. The Browns had an insane comeback in Baltimore.
Oh, that's right. I remember watching that game.
Yeah. So there you go. But anyways, that's not important. I think the Ravens are still going to be really good, but I think also discounting their losses. I mean, they lost a lot.
They did lose a lot. They lost players and staff and support staff too. They lost like their analytics guy to the Chargers.
Yeah. So take that how you will. Ooh.
Hearing it?
Yep, it's coming back.
That's a shame.
I'm gonna mute you real fast just so it's not you're bleeding.
All right, we're going to this.
Okay. Now we're good. Okay. Anyway, so Ravens, we've already projected every game except week 18 for them. What's on the line here? So they're not going to win the division. They can, however. Oh, whoa. So Baltimore actually has nothing to gain except keeping a division rival out.
What
But
seed do they get? Are they still 6 no matter what?
they're going to be the 6 no matter what.
So it'd just be either keeping the Browns out of the playoffs or not.
Yeah, that's all they're fighting for is keeping the Browns out. Because they're in no matter what, but they're also going to be the 6 no matter what.
Who would be the 7 then?
The 7 is either Miami or Cleveland, depending
Oh,
on the
shit.
result of this game.
Okay. Dude, honestly, I could see Cleveland getting the 7 over Miami. I feel
Yeah.
like if we're predicting that December slump, it probably catches up to them this year.
I could see it. I can see it.
All right, here we go,
And I
boys.
also think it's appropriate for the AFC North to be the first division ever to send all 4 teams to the postseason.
Here we go, boys. Narrative pick. They, the Ravens stole the Browns. Revenge here.
Browns win. I like it. Browns win. Browns going to the playoffs. Look at that. The AFC North does what they almost did last year, send all 4 teams to the postseason. Crazy stuff, boys. Crazy stuff.
Yeah, and poor Raiders.
Yeah.
I think it was the Dolphins.
Yeah, the Dolphins got screwed, but I mean the Raiders were also 9-8.
Yeah, they were there. We were talking about how the Raiders were going to be a surprise package. They're missing out. Unfortunate.
So as far as new playoff teams go, the only flip is we're switching the Bengals with the Dolphins, but dang, man, the Raiders came close. Gotta give the Raiders credit. Jets also came close. Jags also came close. So there was a lot of teams that, 1 or 2 wins
Patriots
here
are
and there.
close too. Go down.
The 4-13 Patriots. The 4-13 New England Patriots.
They're kind of close, man.
They're
They're gonna
close,
fucking win week 1, bro. I'm telling you now.
Nah, man.
You insist
what-
the Bengals aren't gonna throw a single game to a shit team. But they always do that every year. It's gonna happen.
Dude, one of their losses is to the Chargers.
I mean, okay, Chargers aren't that bad. They're not
They've
that
got
bad.
the
They're
they've
kind
got
of
them going
mid. Not
6 and
that bad.
The
11.
Chargers are horrible, man.
Not that bad. They still have Justin Herbert. He's a top
They've got them going
quarterback.
6 and 11. We got them going 6 and 11. All right, boys.
Bad.
There you go. That's the AFC
Not
North
good,
then.
but
So
they're not bad.
we got the Bengals finishing with that's the AFC as a whole, actually. We got the Bengals finishing with the 1 seed at 12-5, Steelers with the 5 seed, 11-6, Ravens 10-7, the 6 seed, and the Browns sneaking into the playoffs with the 9-8 and the 7 seed. So that's the entire AFC North. We can look at the entire AFC actually. We can look at the conference breakdown there. There you go. The whole hood division making the playoffs is just mwah, chef's kiss. I'd even look at that. You get all the way down to the 11 seed, and you still got a team around 500. It's really these last five that hold us back. But it's okay because the AFC, as we all know, is the better conference anyway. So, there you go. Well, the next time we do a game by game picks podcast, we're doing two divisions. We're doing the NFC West and the NFC North. And look at these schedules. We've only done 7 games for all 8 of these teams. So that's gonna be a girthy podcast. That's gonna be a chunky one. I'm not gonna lie, but it'll be fun. It'll be fun. My entire computer system just crashed on me. That's okay. We're still live. All right, boys. That is it for this edition of the West Coast Draft Podcast. Really excited for later this week. We might have a guest, maybe even 2 guests for these last 2 divisions. But before we do that, closing thoughts, Mr. Daniel,
Beau, you're gonna be a Detroit fan for a week.
for a few hours. Yeah, okay, deal.
I did not say a few hours. It goes from the Bengals loss to the Patriots until week 2, beginning of week 2. So it'd be from that Sunday to like the end
The
of
Thursday
Thursday.
night
Well,
game.
yeah.
Okay. All right. So for like 3 days. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. I was already gonna root for the Lions. Now you're gonna make it. You're actually making it harder for me to root for the Lions against the Rams.
No, but that's the thing. If the Patriots win, now you gotta like really root for them. You're like an actual fan of the team.
I gotta get a jersey and everything.
Jersey.
A jersey. You gotta, you
Let's
gotta,
talk
you
about
gotta
how
go
Jared
down
Goff's
to
the
the
GOAT.
mall and get a jersey. All right, there you go. All right, closing thoughts, Mr. Rob.
Well, I think we got some good news here, boys. Uchenna Nwosu tweeted out BRB. So
There you go.
that's good news. If one of us has every team in their division get to the playoffs, all of us has every team in their division get to the playoffs, except not really. If one of us hit like,
Just me. Just me.
all of us hit like. If one of us subscribe, all of us subscribe. Thanks for watching.